everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about some second chance romance recommendations, and this has become one of my new recent favorite tropes. It's not one that I typically have read in the past, but recently a lot of the books I've been reading have been falling into this trope, so I have some recommendations for you. So the first one is Fire in You by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the final book in the Wait For You series, but you could totally read it on its own. And this one is about this guy, Brock, who is he's some kind of fighter, like a boxing kind of wrestling kind of thing. And he was really famous, and he's sort of beyond that now. He's a little older, I guess, or no, he gets injured. That's what happens. Anyway. So he's basically out of fighting, he got injured, and now he is looking for something else to do. And there's this girl, Jillian, who is the daughter of the sort of owner of this fighting gym company kind of thing. And her dad took in Brock when he was 14 or something off the street and sort of trained him on how to be a fighter and to make his career and whatever. And Jillian used to have this massive crush on Brock when she was younger, but he just totally looked at her like a little sister. He was a couple years older than her, 3 or 4 years. So she was 16 and he was yeah, I'm not going near that. And so they obviously they didn't really have a relationship, but she always had this massive crush on him. And then it flashes forward. I think she's 30, so he's got to be I don't know, 34 or something when it moves forward. And he sort of keeps inserting himself into her life now. It's he's been out of it for I think they didn't see each other for I don't know, somewhere 5 years or something like that maybe. And so he just keeps inserting himself in her life. He keeps showing up random places, when she's at a restaurant he's there, or just these little things that seem a little too suspicious to be coincidences. And she's kind of starting to get annoyed, why is he always everywhere I go, whatever. And they end up getting closer. I don't want to say why because it's kind of funny when it happens, but they end up getting closer, and eventually obviously he wears her down. But this one is really cute because it is he's yeah, I couldn't do anything when you were a kid, you were 16, what was I supposed to do? And so that part it was really cute, now that they're older and they can do whatever they want. Next one is Hold On Tight by Abby Glines. This is about a girl who basically gets pregnant, I believe at the end of high school, and her boyfriend is killed in a car accident right after. So I don't know that he even knew that she was pregnant when he died, but he dies, and her mom finds out she's pregnant, and basically she ends up leaving the town. And the whole family of the boyfriend, the boyfriend had an older brother, and the whole family just assumes that she left. And the mom starts telling everyone that she went crazy and whatever, but nobody knew that she was pregnant. And she ends up moving back to this town. And when she moves in, this guy from across the street comes over, and he's I just want to make sure that whoever's moving across the street from my parents is you know, they're good people, whatever. And he comes over and he recognizes the girl right away because he's the brother of her now dead boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend I guess at this point. But it's years later. And he is oh my god, what are you doing back here? Everyone thought you went insane and now here you are. And there's a lot that happens. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to say, but basically he always wanted her when his brother had her, but they were more age appropriate, even though he's only a couple years older than her. But he was just no, he's my brother's, I can't take my brother's girlfriend. And so he never made a move, but now obviously his brother's gone and she's here and she's single, and so things happen. Next is The Good Luck Charm. This one is a hockey romance. It is about a girl whose boyfriend dumps her as soon as he gets drafted, and she after that just wants nothing to do with him, and is obviously super mad because he literally only breaks up with her because he was drafted, there was no real reason. And she ends up sort of bumping into him years later because she stays close with her family, or with his family, because her family situation isn't great, and she kind of spent all of her childhood time with his family, so she stays in contact with them since he is away so much with the NHL. and he ends up coming home and getting transferred to his home team, which he's like super miserable about because he's just been like sucking lately, and so they like demote him basically to this team, and he's like super mad to be home and whatever, but he wants her back, and she's just like, no way, like why on earth would I ever get back with you? You literally broke up with me for hockey. And then they start sort of seeing each other, but she gets like worried because he's getting like obsessive about seeing her at like certain times and stuff because he thinks it affects his like performance on the ice. And so she starts to worry that he is basically only dating her because she brings him luck, because he's superstitious that like he has to see her, you know, before a game, and then like before an away game he has to call her and like all this stuff, and she's like, you don't need that to like win and stuff, and there's this whole thing, and it's so good. They come back to each other, into each other's lives, and they're just really cute. I love hockey romances, so I was like very easily sold on this one, but it's so good. Next is Meet Cute by Helena Hunting. The last one was by Helena Hunting too, I don't think I said that, but anyway. This one is about a sort of former like child star. I sort of like equate it to like a Disney Channel star. Like he was famous in his teen years, but then he just decided he was done. And he is going to college now, and he bumps into this girl who recognizes him. And she's like, oh my god, like you're from the show, I used to love it, I watched it all the time. And he's like, yeah, okay, cool, like I'm trying to lay low and whatever. And she's like, yeah, that's fine, like whatever. They end up spending 4 years together in law school, and by the end of the 4 years, she hates him. I'm not going to say why, but like she wants nothing to do with him, hates his guts, like doesn't want to ever see him again, so they don't ever see each other. Until his family comes into her law office to set up a trust for his younger sister. And it takes him like a minute to realize who she is. And as soon as he does, he's like, oh my god, like we were best friends. And she's like, no, like I hate you. And he's like, oh, like I didn't realize that, and kind of thing. And they end up leaving that time, and then like 6 months later he ends up having to deal with her again for more legal related issues, and so they start to like be forced to spend more time together because of these legal problems he's having. And so this one is really cute as well. And lastly is Like a Memory by Abby Glines. This is the Seabreeze meets Rosemary Beach series, and this one is about Bliss York and Nate Finley. And basically they spent one summer together, and then she went home, he went home, they didn't see each other again until years later he is setting up his fiance's shop, and she has hired Bliss to work there. And he's like, oh my god, like I never thought I'd see you again. And she's been through like this like traumatic experience, so she's like doesn't really like, isn't like, she's not opposed to rekindling things with him, but like obviously he's engaged, and she's just like, no, like I need to do what's best for me kind of thing. But they sort of end up making moves. This book is like kind of sad. There's like some stuff that happens, it's like really crazy, but I did really like it, and they do get their second chance. That was really cute. And so yeah, those are all my recommendations for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you next time.